Hi everyone, and welcome back to Bible Story Time. Today we're going to be looking at the story of David and Goliath. So, take a seat and get ready, and let's start with our song. Hi everyone, and welcome back. Okay, so are you sitting? Are you ready? Let's start our song. Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? So how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today's story is David and Goliath, and this is a story you might have heard before. So hopefully you'll enjoy this telling of it, and then afterwards we'll have some questions that you can talk about. A little girl named Alice liked to exercise and run, and to read a Bible story when every day was done. Alice liked to read about how faith will see us through and how everything is possible when God is there with you. So there she is reading. Do you like to go outside and play too? What's your favorite game to play when you go outside? Of young David and the giant was the story Alice read when an airmail bird delivered a little note which said, "Reading is the magic key that takes you where you want to be." The Bible story book she had became a giant screen, and Alice walked on through to Bible land and came upon the scene. Do you see the giant screen she's going to walk through? A shepherd boy named David could play the harp and sing. David's older brothers were soldiers for the king. David was too young to fight. He watched his father's sheep and sang and played the harp to help King Saul of Israel sleep. King Saul was very worried. He couldn't sleep at night, since the soldiers of the Philistines were looking for a fight. Their champion was Goliath, a giant almost 10 feet tall. And when he spoke, the Israelites would tremble one and all. Look at how big he is compared to the soldier right next to him. Goliath roared, "You Israelites, let's let our soldiers rest. Just send one man to fight me to decide which army's best. And if your man can kill me, here's what we will do. We'll say the Israelites have won, and we'll be slaves for you." But if I win this battle by being strong and clever, your Israelites will work for us and be our slaves forever. For 40 days he challenged the Israelites to fight. They looked up at the giant, and their hearts were filled with fright. One day young David brought some food to help his brothers out. He heard the great big giant named Goliath roar and shout. David asked, "Why do you fear?" Goliath shouts and fuss. "We are all God's people. He'll take care of us. David went before the king and said to him, King Saul, I want to fight Goliath, who is almost 10 feet tall. At first King Saul refused him. You are but a shepherd boy. Goliath is a giant who can break you like a toy. But David answered, I have killed a lion and a bear. Each tried to take away my sheep, grazing in my care. My strength and courage come from God. He kept me safe back then. And when I fight Goliath, God will be with me again. At first King Saul said, David, go. God keep you in his care. And for this brave deed that you do, my armor is yours to wear. But David didn't feel right in the armor of the king. Instead, he picked up 5 smooth stones and took his staff and sling. So there he is picking out the stones. Goliath looked at David. He gave a scornful laugh, for he thought David couldn't win with just a sling and staff. Goliath said, Come closer. Come fight me if you dare, and I will feed you to the beasts and fowl that fill the air. Then David said, You come to me with armor, javelin, and spear, but I come in the name of God, and I have no fear. The Lord my God will conquer you. He needs no spear or sword, and everyone who follows him will have a just reward. Look at how big the giant is compared to David. Goliath rushed at David. His shield and weapon shone, and David took his sling out and loaded 1 smooth stone. David slung the little stone. It hit Goliath's head. It struck him into the forehead, and Goliath fell down dead. So 1 stone struck him right in the forehead. The armies of the Philistines decided not to stay. They knew they had lost the war, so turned and ran away. The soldiers of the Israelites laughed and cheered with joy, for the Lord had won the battle with a stone and just 1 boy. King Saul was so delighted that the battle had been won, he took David to his palace and treated him as a son. Then Alice walked back through her screen and thought of David's story and of how his strength and courage came from faith in God's great glory. For size is not important when there is something big to do. For everything is possible when God is there with you. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's story. I hope it reminded you that no matter what, even when you're scared, God is always with you to take care of you. So next up, we have a couple of questions that you can discuss with your family. So stay tuned for those. So here are the questions to talk about. There are 3 for today's story. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's story, and it was a great reminder that God is always with us. As a reminder, you can find more Bible Storytime stories by checking out the playlist. And as always, please subscribe to our channel to be notified for our next video, and of course, anytime we live stream an event. Have a great day, and God bless.